The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. You. It's for you. Can you sing it with me, baby? Can you sing it with me?
Hey, welcome back to Relationshipology right here on JQLM Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network. And y'all know we got a fire show for y'all tonight, of course, as always. But before we get into that, we have to get formalities out of the way and have a few announcements to make before we get into this topic. So if this is your first time tuning in and you would like to share with your family, friends, and followers and all the different ways that they can tune in to JQLM Radio or the show, this is what you would share. If you'd like to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in to JQLM Radio, this is what you would share. You can tune in live by downloading the JQLM Radio app on your Apple or Android devices. You can also listen live via Alexa, the TuneIn app, the Simple Radio app, and a host of other platforms of which you can find on our website, where you can also listen live at egoentertainmentnet.com/JQLM-radio. Or just visit egoentertainmentnet.com and click the button right there on the home page. You can also connect with us via our website or social media at JQLM Radio. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Additionally, you can email us at jqlmradio@gmail.com. Find us under our parent company, Ego Entertainment Network, on social media at EGOENTNET. That's Ego Ent Net. You can also follow us on LinkedIn at Ego Entertainment Network. And last but not least, make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel, Ego TV Network. All right. Now, real quick, before we get into this topic, y'all. So just a couple of announcements. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to all of you who rock with Ego Entertainment Network as a whole. No matter what division you support, we absolutely love you. Okay. And shout out to all of our JQLM radio listeners who has been holding it down. Y'all, we are holding strong between 7,600 and 8,300 listeners weekly. Listen, y'all are super dope. All right. Invite your family, friends, and followers to tune into JQL on radio, because y'all know you don't ever have to touch that dial. We start out with the gospel, then head into the R&B, hip hop, pop. We got the neo soul and things that sort going on at night. And then, of course, the hip hop mix along with some old school hip hop too, as you work for y'all third shifters. Listen, we got something for everybody, and not to mention all of the dope shows. So thank you for listening, tuning in, participating. This year, we are opening back up the lines, okay, the radio station lines, so you can call in and be a part of the shows. Y'all know y'all love that, and we'll be doing some giveaways. We got some sponsors, and Karen, on look, the whole nine is going down, okay, launching this spring. So shout out to all of you listeners. Thank you so much. Again, we have been holding down strong between 7,500 to 8,300 listeners weekly. We're averaging, that's our average. So we're averaging anywhere between 30 to 70,000 listeners monthly. Listen, y'all are super dope. All right. We want to go to restaurant. We all about providing good and great entertainment and great conversation. All right. Y'all know we keep it real, raw, and relevant over here, along with the dope music. So yeah. So I wanted to shout out to our listeners, because you all are important. We wouldn't be where we are without you all. And I'm so glad that you all enjoy the content that we put out. So let's get into it. Of course, your host tonight, as always, is myself, Lady J, and we can't hear you, Keith.
Hold up. There we go. All right, here I am. Your boy Keith Omar. What up? I'm happy to be back.
Listen. It ain't nothing like it. So y'all are tuning in to Relationshipology, of course. So our topic tonight is love on the spectrum. Now, I know some
Yes.
of you have watched this show. Okay, Keith brought this to my attention. I've only seen clips. I haven't watched the entire show. But love on the spectrum. Should we be following, that example? Are we doing it wrong? Like that's what we're talking about tonight. So Keith,
Yeah.
go ahead, kick us off.
I was introduced to this show this past weekend. And basically what the show is if people aren't familiar with the spectrum, they talk about autism. And they're talking about autistic people, searching for love.
Mhm,
And me personally, I truly believe, like, if you just watch one episode, I swear there's no way you cannot watch one episode and not feel joyful.
mhm,
Like you feel joyful, you feel hopeful. Like there is no way you can watch an episode of Love on a Spectrum and not be like, yo, they got it right.
mhm,
Because all they're looking for is what we all should be looking for, is somebody who's compatible to them,
mhm.
somebody who, have the same kind of similarities, someone with a purpose, somebody who is selfless and wanting to be a partner and a, confidant to each other.
Right.
And I just think it's so dope that that's all they want. They just want to, I really want a companion through life.
Mhm.
And they could care less about if you make six figures or where you work, how you work. As long as you're just productive and a kind person, that's all they care about. And they so brutally honest because I mean I don't know if
Yes.
for people who've never been around autistic people, like
Mhm.
I don't they're brutally honest like children are. A
Yes.
kid tell
Yes.
you the truth in a heartbeat, boy. They don't
Mhm.
care if your feelings is hurt or not. And that's kind of how they are on the spectrum. Like, not to say they're childlike, but it's just the brutal honesty. Like, they'll be like, "Hey, I don't feel a love connection here, but I like you as a friend. Can we still be friends?" They're like, "Yeah, sure." And they literally
Now,
be friends.
right. Now we also have to take into account though that some people who are autistic, now there are different ends of the spectrum. Some are
True
high
enough.
functioning, some
Yep.
are not. And then there are some who are unable to actually have show, let's say, authentic emotion. They mimic what others do. And
Yep.
so when it comes and knowing people who are autistic, myself, and being around people who are autistic, you have different levels on the spectrum. And so those who are very high functioning, like the ones on this show, they are
Mhm.
able to gauge those things. Now I want to say too, even though I haven't seen any clips with individuals with Down syndrome dating,
Mhm.
they too are extremely loving people.
Yes, they are.
Extremely
Yes, they
loving
are.
people. And like, if you want to know how to exhibit true, authentic, like agape love, they would be the ones to follow.
Telling you,
So,
I love this show. It is
yes.
it is now one of my new favorite shows.
Mhm,
Like there's no way you can watch this show and not find joy. If you
right.
can't find joy in watching this show, you somebody who just don't like happiness.
So let me ask you this, because we only got an hour. We got to get it all in.
Right.
So let me ask you
Right.
this. When looking at the show and how we date versus how those on the spectrum are dating as it pertains to the show. And shout out to Adrian. Hey, I see you tuning in.
Hey.
And all of you who are tuning in Radio Land. So those watching how we date, right? So when we date, we see somebody, oh, she fine, or oh, he fine, he look good, or look at what he driving, or whatever the case may be. And then, you shoot your shot, maybe exchange numbers and things of that sort. So based on how we date versus how they date, what do you think is the difference in the initial meeting, and
Hmm.
is their example better than what we do when we initially meet someone who we may be interested in?
There's no hidden agendas. That's the first thing I noticed right out the gate by watching this show. There are
Mhm,
absolutely no hidden agendas. Like they genuinely both want the same thing. I want to find someone that is compatible to me, that understands me, that's willing to learn with me, that's
mhm,
willing to go through life with me. That's
right.
like, I mean, that's really like the baseline for all of them. Like For people who've never seen the show, I'm going to kind of explain it a little bit. The show is they find a handful of people that they kind of circle around. So like my favorite person to watch on this show, his name is Connor. I
Mhm.
love this dude. He is so good. So like his spectrum, he is so energetic. He could be all over the place.
Mhm.
But the young lady that he's dating now, she
Mhm.
is so dope for him. They complement each other very well. Like it's a show you have to see
So
the
so hold on. So how did they meet though? I want to know
show. Hey,
what is the difference
they
in
have
their
a
initial meeting versus ours?
yeah. Oh no, it's the same. So like they have a dating coach. What I'm saying? They kind of matchmake a little bit, and put them together. They go on speed dates.
Okay.
So
So
they do a
okay,
lot
wait.
of the
So they
same
do
things.
speed dating and they have a matchmaker. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of us out here, the people who be matchmaking us, no,
Oh,
absolutely not.
yeah.
Those who be playing matchmaker, no, absolutely not. Because most of us, if we're being honest, if we are set up by somebody we know, most of us are, well, let me back up. A lot of us are set up by people that we know. Either somebody
Mhm.
done whispered in their ear saying, hey, what about your friend over here? Like, let them know that I like them or something. Or you going to your friend or your, family member that like, hey, I got this homeboy, I got this homegirl, I think it'll be dope for you. And 9 times out of 10, it ain't really a good match. Now, I mean, I think I've only been matched with one person that I actually married, but that it turned out right. That was my first husband. So, but we got 2 beautiful kids, so children, and yeah, and that's it. So, okay, so they go on speed dates, they have matchmaker.
Yeah,
Now, when they are dating, though, are they left on their own when they're dating? Are there
yeah,
specific set
yeah.
of
They're left on their
questions
own.
that they ask while on the dates? You know what the questions is?
They're left on their own. No one's there with them. It's just them two on a date. I love this show. Like this is my
Okay.
new. When I tell you, this is one of my top five shows out right now. I promise you, it is one of the top five shows. Like, okay, for anybody that know me, they know my show was Suits and Snowfall. This is kind of up there with it. I love me some Suits. I love me some Snowfall, and I also gotta throw this in too. I absolutely love Law and Order. I've always been a Law and Order fan. But this show right here, like I don't anybody know me, know I don't do reality shows at all. This is the perfect reality show because they can't be scripted. You cannot
Mhm,
script the opposite person, really. You just can't script them
mhm.
because they're gonna
So,
say whatever emotion they feel. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, what you gotta see my boy
okay,
Connor.
somebody said, hold on. Greg said they don't send a representative. I want us to stay on topic because we got to
Yep,
get through
they
everything.
don't. They
So
don't.
let's see.
You're right.
Let's see. Yeah, they don't send a representative. So what questions are different that they ask, or do they ask any questions on the dates that we don't ask?
Listen, they ask all the questions that we ask for the most part. Outside of finding out what someone has, they
Mhm,
ask all the right questions on who they are. See,
mhm,
I think all too often we get caught up in what someone has. You're like,
mhm,
what do you work at? What do you do? Okay, fine. Um, where do you live? Do you live on the east side, west side? Do you live in a house? Do you live in an apartment? Do you live in a townhome? Do you live in a
mhm,
condo? Like people will ask about what it is that you have.
mhm. Right. And so the difference then is that they ask who the person is. So what we should be asking is background or character questions in essence. And it looks like Keith is having a little bit of technical issues, but
There we go.
so yeah, okay, when dating, we should be asking background or character questions, right? To get to know what type of
Yeah.
individual the person is. However, there
Mhm.
are some questions that we should not ask because a lot of people can pretend to
Oh
be,
yeah. Yep.
I'm saying,
So
pretend to be what
what it is that
we
you want?
desire based off of the questions that they're asking. And I
Yep.
think there's a polite way to redirect the conversation when somebody asks, like, what are you looking for, saying in a man, or what are you looking for in a woman? Those are the questions that you don't ask, right? Because
Yeah,
I'm not going to give you a rundown so you can
right.
then,
But you can
you know,
emulate it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So with this show, Love on the Spectrum, because they don't have any underlying motives or hidden agendas, and they are not sending a representative, they are actually being themselves. Now,
Mhm.
not to say that people who are out here dating, nobody is themselves, but it's a very, very small percentage of people who date and are themselves and don't send a representative.
Yeah.
So when they are doing that, when they do find a love connection, I'm curious to know if you have run into that. What does that look like? Because I did watch where Tanner, I think his name is Tanner, he
Yes,
was
Tammy.
on the Kelly Clarkson show and he got to meet Jack Black, and they asked him about the young lady that was interested in him, and she asked, like, he was like, yeah, she asked me to be her boyfriend, but I said no. Like, now,
Hmm.
if a woman asked you to be her man and you just outright said no, and then that was it, like, you ain't, they want an explanation and they want, really bad, should be hot, right? But and because a
They
lot of us,
don't.
and no is a complete sentence. Like, I don't have to explain to you. You're not gonna
Hey,
ask me for an explanation if I say yes, right? So why do I need to give you an explanation when I say no? So what does that look like for them? Like, do all of them just say, "Hey, will you be my girlfriend?" or "Hey, will you be my
no,
boyfriend?" How does
like
that?
so. Listen, I we kind of me and you kind of talked about this yesterday, but for the audience who got the inside of our conversation.
Mm-hmm,
So what happened is there's an episode where like dude was like, "Hey, I don't feel a love connection here. I don't think we're a match." He's like, "But I like you. You're a good person. Can we still be friends?" And she's like, "Sure." And that was that. They was cool, and they are cool. So now they're in a whole other season, and there's a girl that he's interested in, he's into, and he actually invited the girls that he are cool with now, with a
mm-hmm,
couple of with one of his male friends too, and like they was at like a cookout or something at his house,
mm-hmm.
and they was just hanging out, like they were just really hanging out as friends. I was sitting there thinking to myself, how adult is that? Because let me let you know right now, I can imagine me telling somebody after a date, "Hey, I don't really feel a love connection here. I just think you cool. You know, can we be friends?" She might be like, "Yeah, sure." But I'm here to let you know that girlfriend conversation that she gonna have with her girlfriends.
Mm-hmm,
Oh man,
mm-hmm,
chances are I'm not gonna be that dude. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? It's gonna go a whole nother way. It's gonna be like, "Girl, he had the nerve to tell me I ain't this
Right,
type." Da 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 da.
right,
And I was like, "Yo, like, hey, I don't know about nobody else, but I'm not ready to eat for everybody."
right. Absolutely. Now, let's get into what rejection, or how we should respond to rejection, because we've mentioned a little bit about how people who are on the spectrum, who, with autism, how this show portrays how they date, how they interact with people, how they say, no, I'm not interested. Let's shift into what should we be doing, those who are not on the spectrum. How should we be responding when it comes to
Same
rejection, when we
way.
find out, like, that we're not a match? you know is it that we have to be, you know I'll say, sweet when it comes to our words? And I say you have to be mean and nasty, but a lot of
Right,
people think mean being sweet means beating around the bush. No, you can still
right.
be,
Yeah.
on point, clear, blunt,
Not what you
without
say, it's how you
being
say it.
nasty. Right,
It's not
right.
what you say, it's how you say it. So
Absolutely. Hold on, wait,
I'm
wait,
not
wait. Before
really
you go into that, we gotta
uh,
take a quick break. So y'all don't
yeah.
go nowhere. If you are cooking dinner on the road or whatever, tap into JQLM Radio through the app. All right, go to the website if you want.
All of
egoentertainmentnet.com
it.
/ JQLM radio. Get it on your Alexa or whatever. All right, listen while you're doing your thing. Hold tight. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. All right. And we are talking about love on the spectrum. This is Relationshipology here on JQLM Radio. The Jeremiah L. Godfrey Brain Cancer Research Foundation is seeking donations and sponsors to help aid in its efforts to provide funding to researchers to find an effective treatment and cure for rare inoperable brain tumors in children ages 3 to 12, specifically diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma or DIPG. DIPG is inoperable and currently has no effective treatment or cure, and those diagnosed only live for 3 to 11 months after diagnosis. For more information and to make a contribution today, visit jlgresearchfoundation.org. Music: Corporate Rhythm by Roman Sinic Music on Pixabay.com. All right, listen up. If you're ready for a night of powerful music, life-changing moments, and an experience that'll have you walking away stronger than ever, then you need to be at the Don't Give Up Tour. We're talking about some of the biggest names in independent gospel and inspirational music. Calandra Gant, Andre Speed and Company, Psalmist Fatima, Billy Bird Sr., Clinton Gardner, and New Sound Worshipers, and more. From urban and hip-hop genres to traditional, we have something for everybody. This journey kicks off on April 5th in Indianapolis, and we're making stops in Atlanta, Kansas City, and Beaufort. And guess what? Some cities will have surprise special guests. This isn't just a concert, it's a movement, a night of faith, resilience, and breakthrough. Don't wait till it's too late. Tickets will not be sold at the door. Grab yours now at egoentertainmentnet.com/events. This is your time, your victory, your moment, your time to thrive in 2025. We'll see you at the Don't Give Up Tour. Hey there, trendsetters and go-getters. Ever dreamt of gracing the cover of the hottest bi-monthly print and digital interactive magazine? Well, Ego Magazine is your ticket to the spotlight. From beauty and fashion to entertainment, relationships, business, and beyond, Ego covers it all. And guess what? We're looking for the next big stars to feature. Want to shine on the cover? Share your celebrity story or drop some business wisdom? Apply now at egoentertainmentnet.com to be featured. Thousands across the nation could be reading about you. Subscribe for free now at egoentertainmentnet.com. Ego Magazine, where dreams become headlines. We can't wait to put you in the spotlight. Music: Minutes by Jacob Sack on Pixabay.com. All right, all right. Don't forget to get your tickets for the Don't Give Up Tour. All right, so for those of you who are just tuning in, you are tuned in to Relationshipology with your girl, Lady J, and
your boy Keith Omar.
Right here on JQLM Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network. And we've been talking about love on the spectrum. Should we be mimicking or following their example, those who are autistic and how they are dating as portrayed on this show, Love on the Spectrum, this new show, Love on the Spectrum? So before the break, we were talking about, what should we be doing or how should we be responding to rejection? Like when we decide that, oh, this person's not a good fit or we're not compatible, because let's be honest, a lot of people get in their feelings. They're mad, they're upset. You all kind of names. They go on and talk to they homies or they homegirls and tell them about, it's almost like, how dare you? As if you're going to be everyone's cup of tea. That's just not realistic. So what are some of the things that we should be doing in response to someone letting us know that, hey, we're not a good fit?
I'm always amongst the speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like to leave someone with an idea that, oh, there's going to be a second date. You know what I'm saying? Or, now they constantly in contact with me and I'm not feeling them. So that's not my program. I'm the kind of person that I'm blunt. I'm gonna be upfront with it. Hey, listen, I like you, but I don't see us being a couple. But like I said, I like you. So I would much rather still get to know who you are as a person, and maybe we could be something outside of a couple. Maybe we can be friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's usually typically my approach with it. I've been
Mm-hmm.
met with mixed, mixed replies with that. I
Mm-hmm.
got a lot, quite a few women are cool with it, and I'm still cool with all of them to this day. And then there's some women that's almost appalled. Like, I dare you not like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with you that you don't like me? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm not attracted to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you say that, that's even more offensive to them. I'm not attracted to you. I find you attractive, but that don't mean I have to be attracted to you.
Right.
We just fit. I mean, there's just certain things that you like that I don't like. There's certain things that I like that you ain't rocking with.
Mm-hmm.
We're at odds when it comes to raising children. How we're gonna raise them. We at odds on how a household is supposed to be ran.
Mm-hmm.
Not a
Right.
match. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think for me, 9 times out of 10, I'm not even gonna want to be your friend. Like that's just me.
yeah,
If we're not a
hey,
good match and we're not compatible, then yeah, it's gonna be a no for me. Because see, and because you are already interested in me, I don't want there to be any, you know,
I feel you. I
misunderstanding as
feel
far
you.
as whether you think you got a chance, if or
Yeah.
any of that. So I'm probably not gonna be your friend.
I feel
I'll, you're somebody who maybe I've met your acquaintance. That's it. Now, if we were in a relationship already, we decided to split ways and we're cool. That's one thing. But if we're just meeting and we went on a couple of dates and I decided, yeah, this is probably not gonna be, what's best for me, and we're not compatible, and I'm not interested in moving forward. We're not gonna be friends 9 times out of 10. And again, it's nothing personal. It's just that, like I said, at being a female and being in that situation way too many times, because you always think that there's a chance. You always think that there's a chance. And then I've had real life stalkers, and I'm not trying to deal with none of that. Like
I,
just no, just
I
shut it
get
down.
it. I get it. I get it. I totally get it. Fortunately enough, I've not had that situation. Oh wait, hold on. I've had a stalker or two. I take that back. I have had a stalker or two. Dang, man.
I've
That was
had
but that
virtual
was my
and real
I
life.
was in my 20s and early 30s when that happened. So, we many moons have passed since then. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? I don't have those issues now.
Now, but okay, so when it's not amicable, okay, and one person decides that I'm not attracted to you, or this is not going to work, and
Mhm.
the other person completely flips out, because I've had people and I've had dudes cuss me out, and nowadays you've seen videos where men will, like, they near try to kill you when you don't want to talk to them, and it's crazy.
That's why
One lady got
public.
acid thrown in her face. It was just crazy. So when people flip all the way out, like, how do you respond? Because you shouldn't be scared to say no.
You got to make sure you well, first of all, I've always told my sisters, cousins, female friends, make sure you're in public with people you don't have a real good clue or handle on. So,
Hmm.
with the first time date, you all are going to meet up. Don't allow him to come to your home. Go meet
Hmm.
that person.
Hmm.
Meet them out. In fact, I am a huge component of because I got a lot of female friends. I actually probably have more female friends than male friends that are strictly friends too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got female friends I've been rocking with for 15, 20, 30 years. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Um, and so, you know, my circle of friends, we all kind of hang out together.
Hmm.
Like, you know, we have different social circles, but
Hmm.
we all know each other. We
Hmm.
might not all hang out all the time, but you
Hmm.
know, Dana knows Lamont. Lamont
Right.
knows Chris. Christy knows Adam. Adam
Mm-hmm.
knows Keisha. Keisha knows Derek. Derek knows TJ.
Mm-hmm.
TJ, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we all know each other. We're all familiar with each other. We all are kind of cut the same way too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody got something new, I'll get a phone call sometimes to be like, yo, I kind of want you to check him out. Tell me what you think. I'm
Right.
like, all right, cool. I tell you what, why don't you bring him to this event? So
Mm-hmm.
that way there's no pressure of someone feeling like they being set up, to be critiqued.
Right.
But also you in a public space with that you love and trust.
Right. Now, when we talk about the difference between those who are on the spectrum and us, when it comes to conflict, because I've seen, some autistic people when, so they are really focused on and do well with a consistent, what do you want to call it, a consistent routine, right?
Hmm.
And when you get out of that routine, it kind of, causes them to have a lot of anxiety or throws them
Right.
off, a lot of them. And so, and when they're unhappy or they can't do something or have something, a lot of them kind of, have their little episode where they flip out, and
And you
sometimes
see that on the
sometimes
show
it can get
too.
violent. But
Hmm.
with those of us who are not on the spectrum, that are not, I'll say, or we were not taught how to have self control when we can't get our way, or when someone does something that we don't like. A lot of us, we allow our emotions to drive us. And so, in that regard, I think that we are the same. So, what would you say is the difference, or is there anything that we should be paying attention to or following when it comes to an example of those who are on the spectrum and those who are not when it comes to conflict?
Well, I think on the spectrum, because they deal with, people for the most part that are very high functional.
Hmm.
Um, I think there's a lot of interviewing and, kind of like before they even get on the show, that I'm quite sure there's a lot to trying to figure out if this person would be good for TV, because I've seen I just like one of the first shows I saw this weekend. There was a gentleman on there that he was nervous, and when he's nervous, like he he tends to kind of like squat over. So like, he was at the table, dang, like he was laying his head on the table.
Hmm.
When he was talking to his date, because he was just so nervous, and
Hmm.
that's something that kind of helped calm him. You know what I'm saying? And they had to, actually move from the inside of the restaurant to the outside of the restaurant on the patio. He was more relaxed.
Okay.
You, so there's
Hmm.
this. So I think I would gather there's an interview process and also like I don't even want to say meet and greet, but more like a trial run to
Hmm.
hang out with the person for a day or so to
Hmm.
see how they function throughout a normal day. You know what I mean? So they can
Hmm.
understand, okay, this person would be good for the show, but this person, we might have some issues because of this. Or, I think there's an extensive, background of figuring out who would be good and who wouldn't. So they're not just,
Hmm.
selecting as if we would be selected for like the Bachelor or something. You know what I mean?
Right. And then even though even some of the people who aren't on the show, because I mean, let's be honest, there are other people that aren't on the show that are out here dating with, on the spectrum, and even those who are on, like, let's say, Pop the Balloon. I hate that show, but
So,
Pop the Balloon. But I mean, not everybody you're going to see on TV. And I just thought that, that was interesting too when it comes to conflict, because when you are dating, yes, you're getting to know the person, but a lot of times you still are going to have conversations where either you're going to have to agree to disagree, because you're not going to agree on everything.
mhm.
And that's when you start to learn whether or not, okay, this is somebody who I could see myself with, or this is somebody who I don't see myself with, so when it comes to, like I said, those who are on the spectrum, their response to things that make them uncomfortable or anxiety, or things they don't like, is completely different
Completely different.
than ours, and it's than the way we would deal with it. But then again, it's not, I don't want to say it's something that they can't control, but in essence it is, you know what I mean? Like,
It's not a process. It's
yeah.
just how you for example, for the longest, like a lot of people don't know that I'm dyslexic. So like it surprises a whole lot of people when they actually be like, wait, hold on, you dyslexic? But you read well, you do this well. Look, it took a whole lot of, trial and error and training for me to disguise it to where you don't know it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm 50. So for 50 years, I figured out how to, blend in. But
Mm-hmm.
your boy is dyslexic. Like, if I'm reading a sentence, I have to concentrate because if I'm not, I will mess around and read that thing in diagonal instead of straight across. I would be on paragraph number 6, and I just started the first paragraph. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I mean, it's just so it's just how you process it, and a lot of them, like especially if you watch the show, you'll see some that are way more higher functioning than some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But what you will see is you will see a genuine want to and
Mm-hmm.
a genuine willingness. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's man, I just think it's so dope. Like this is why it's my new favorite show because there is not like even when it's not a good match, it
Mm-hmm.
ends well. Like it typically ends well. Like they be like we could be friends, sure we could be friends, and it's just so genuine. Like you can tell it's not hey we could be friends. No, I ain't gonna talk to you ever again.
Yeah. Uh.
They be like we could be friends, and 3 days later they on the phone just having a cool conversation.
Yeah. Yep. And I
No,
think
it's
that another interesting aspect of it would be the intimacy. So we all know that a lot of autistic people don't like touch, and then there are some who are overly, you know,
and
touchy.
so
You
there's
know.
a episode I'm on right now, and there's a young lady. She's dating this dude. They've been dating for a while, and she trying to get busy. Like when I say she trying to get busy, she trying to get busy. She look, she wants your boy. I'm trying to tell you. And my guy, he's Catholic, and he don't believe in premarital sex.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it's I don't want to spoil it for nobody who ain't seen it, so I ain't gonna talk too much about it. But these are the things that they actually show on the show. Like she
Mm-hmm.
actually made an animation, like a comic book, almost like a comic book animation on her tablet
Mm-hmm.
of them, going on a date, and at the end of the day, it ends with them going to bed together.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's dope. I was like, look, baby girl want to get busy, and she has this open conversation with her parents. Her
Mm-hmm.
parents was like they're very supportive, and they talk to her about it. It's
Mm-hmm.
what I love is I love the like they have a family dynamic as well because these families are involved with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because if, like I said, if you haven't been around autistic people, you know these families they've been patient with these people their whole lives. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Their
Absolutely.
patience level, I don't, man, listen, I don't even know if I could be that patient. I
So.
pray that I can be. I pray
Uh-huh.
that I can be. But I'm trying to tell you, like, just watching the show, you can see the challenges. You can see
Mm-hmm.
it. And that's what's making it even more encouraging because these families are so like, there's a couple now, they've been together for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
For 3 years, this couple have been together. They met season 1, they in season 3. And they've been together for 3 years. And these families have been together for 3 years. Because these families can totally understand what each other's going through. And they see the growth. And I think that's the beauty of it. You see the growth of these not just individuals, but you see the growth as a couple as well. And you
Mm-hmm.
see how they calm each other. You see how you like there's like this my favorite person on the show, his name is Connor. I love Connor. Connor is like he's so dope to me. But he was so nervous and so frazzled by his girlfriend because he thinks she's the beautiful thing in the world, and
Mm-hmm.
as he should. Like
Mm-hmm.
he found his match because it ain't been easy for him to find his match, but he found his match, and she is a perfect match for him. How she's able to help control his anxiety when
Mm-hmm.
he's about to go off the rails. She can
Mm-hmm.
calm him down like with a snap of.
Mm-hmm.
She
I
has the
think
right
that
things to
I,
say.
I think that a lot of I've seen some autistic people in relationships with non-autistic people. One of the shows that I love that I watched was I believe The Good Doctor, and the doctor
Yeah.
plays an autistic
Mhm.
guy, and he's in a relationship and marries and has a child with someone who is not autistic, but someone who is
Right.
sensitive to his condition, right? And so I think that having that dynamic, they say that opposites attract. You have to be
Mhm.
a person with patience in order to navigate someone. So apparently
Yeah.
he's extremely high functioning. He's a surgeon. He
Right.
is phenomenal, at what he does and super smart, but he still has challenges, social challenges,
Mhm.
again, with interacting with, yes, he's able to love, he's able to, but he has a hard time with,
Expressing
let's say,
himself.
empathy, if you will, having
Right.
bedside manner, because he just says things, blunt,
Yeah.
to the point. And so when you think about something like that and you think about relationships and dating, I think that a lot of us who are not on the spectrum, we have to see each other through the kind of like their eyes, the way that they see each other, and those who are open to dating someone who is on the spectrum. Because if you think about it, we can equate that with us showing grace, right?
Yeah.
If you think
Absolutely.
about it. So, hey, what's up, DL? If you think about it, we can equate that with us showing grace, because you have to be a special kind of person to be able to deal with those social issues, saying that person has because it some of it entails, how they may respond or react to maybe something that you're going through, a crisis that you're
It's
going through, or maybe it's
something
physical.
simple as a basketball game.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know,
H-
deal with
hold
other
on.
people.
Yes. So hold on, guys. We have to take another break real quick. And when we come back, we're going to give our final thoughts on the topic and maybe give some tips and tools on what we can do to be more authentic and a more genuine person without hitting agendas when we are
Mhm.
dating. Because I mean, let's be honest, this dating pool is whew, it's for the birds. You understand me? Because I don't want no parts of it. So stick and stay. Don't go anywhere. You are tuned in to you are tuned in to Relationshipology with your girl, Lady J, and Keith Omar, right here on JQLM Radio, a division of Ego Entertainment Network. If you haven't subscribed to the hottest bi-monthly digital interactive magazine yet, what are you waiting for? Ego Magazine features beauty, fashion, entertainment, celebrity and indie artist highlights, relationship tips, business, and more. Subscribe for free now at www.egoentertainmentnet.com. Need a print copy? Order yours today. Ego Magazine. Music, Dynamic World by Diamond Tunes on Pixabay.com.
Welcome to the Gallery Event Center. My name is Richard, and we're located on the north side of Indianapolis in the Castleton area. We can be reached at 317-534-6399, or you can visit us at our website at www.thegalleryeventcenter.com. Also on Instagram at the Gallery Event Center. We specialize in birthdays, baby showers, weddings, and even family get-togethers. So come see us and book your event today.
What if you had the ability to encourage yourself just by putting on a piece of clothing? It's possible when you shop GDFAM. God Didn't Forget About Me apparel. Shop dresses, t-shirts, sets, jumpsuits, sweatsuits, and more for men and women. When you look good, you feel good. And when you can remind yourself that you have not been forgotten, you feel great. Shop GDFAM now at GodDidn'tForgetAboutMe.com. Music. Powerful advertising track by Anton Vlasov on Pixabay.com. All right. And we are back. You are tuned into Relationshipology with your girl, Lady J, and Keith Omar, right here on JQ
Oh,
Olin Radio,
yeah.
division of Ego Entertainment Network. so, so we've been talking about love on the spectrum and how it differs or how it is similar to how those of us who are not on the spectrum dates. And so we talked about the initial interaction, the conversation with deciding whether or not you're going to move forward and be a couple. We talked about some of the social, barriers, some of the intimacy, we talked a little about intimacy and what that may look like for those who are on the spectrum and those who are not. Of course, listen, those who are not, we have lost our ever loving minds. We're not even gonna get to that. That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show because some of us be jumping from bed to bed. But anyway, let's see. And we talked about rejection. And so what does that look like when they reject each other, not in a bad way, but just saying, hey, this is not going to work for me, or we aren't compatible, or I'm not attracted to you, versus how those of us who are not on the spectrum respond. So our in giving our final thoughts on the topic, what would you say, and giving some tips, what would you say are some of the things that we could learn from them and how we should implement them?
Number one that stood out to me is, the genuine me trying to get to know that person. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about who, that's not about what they have, where they work, where they went to school, what kind of degree they got, this, that, and the third. It's all about
Mhm.
the character of the person. Is this a good person? Is that person not only a good person, do they know how to treat me? Is that person going to be patient enough with me? Do they want to learn and grow with me? Like,
Right.
they genuinely just look for those things. That's it. They keep it real simple.
Right.
And when you see them find somebody, you literally see it. You be like, yo, that's a perfect fit. Like you be
Right.
looking at them like they found it. They got it. It's a perfect fit. And I
Mhm.
honestly believe it's a perfect fit because they just went to the foundation and they figure, like I think all relationships should be, it's all about the character because if we're gonna build together, we're gonna get to where we want to go.
Absolutely. 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 Now you said something, and that's a that's a topic for another day. You know, Building together. A lot of us want people who are already fully built and have their own empire built and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, they ain't even started on their own. So let's just start
Mhm.
there. They don't have no bricks. But but when it comes to the initial interaction, the fact that they don't send representatives and they are literally being themselves, authentically being themselves, they're not trying to be like anyone else. They're not trying to meet your unrealistic list of expectations and all this other kind of stuff. Like this is who I am. This is what you get. If you like me, great. If you don't, great. And that's what it should be for us as well. That's how it should be. And we should be able to sit down with somebody and not feel like we have to be somebody else just for somebody else to like us, right? If you are unattracted to someone the very first time you meet them, like if y'all have just like met online or on a dating app or something like that, and you meet them in person and you're not attracted to them and you know it, how about just being honest in a polite way, all right, when you meet them, and don't string the person along, you know what I mean? And then if
Absolutely.
you are the person on the receiving end of, hey, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to work. I'm just not feeling, this as much as I thought I would, or I'm not attracted to you. Fine. Just say, hey, okay, if y'all decide to be friends or cool, great. If not, great. I think that we have got to get to a point where we understand that we are not for everybody and everybody is not for us. You shouldn't take it
Mhm.
personal. And I think the problem is, and I'm gonna just say it, is that a lot of us think we are, I'll say, on a
All that
level
and some.
higher than what we really are
Oh,
when it comes to the physical appearance. Because you may be a 2 to this person over here, but to this person over here, you may be a 7 or 8. It just depends
mhm.
on the person's
Yep.
preferences and what they deem as attractive. just because you're attractive to this person over here and this person over here doesn't mean that this person over here is going to find you attractive, and that's just it. Or your personality. Maybe that person, if you're a messy person or a toxic person, 9 times out of 10, people who are not messy and are not toxic, they're not going to like your personality. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, it just is what it is. So I think we have to be more realistic about who we are and what we are and what we like, because if you are not complimenting what you're looking for, that's not going to work. And so when dating, I think we have to keep that in mind. Don't just look at what you want, but look at who you are, because who you are is going to have going to play a major role in what you attract.
Agree. I totally agree.
So,
I think another thing too is we don't need to think. It's kind of like this. I always said, understand that you are flawed. I think all too often a lot of people tend to think that they're perfect. Like,
mhm,
like they are the answer to every test. Um, it's fine to know that you're flawed, and it's fine to know that you're not for everybody. Like I tell people all the time, I am not ready to eat for everybody. I'm not.
mhm,
I understand that. And honestly, I worry if you are somebody who's, consider yourself that could be with anybody, because you definitely
mhm,
not for me. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Because that means anybody can have access to you a certain way,
mhm,
you know? So that's just something to think about. Like, I have never known a rare treasure to be something that everybody can obtain.
mhm, right.
And so if you think of yourself as a precious gem, or you think of yourself as something that's rare and unique, then how in the hell can everybody have access to it?
That part, and on top of that, I'd say that we also have to stop being so shallow while they are looking at it. It kind of reminds me how God looks at our hearts. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
He sees the heart. He doesn't see the outward. He sees what's
right.
what's inside. And I think that a lot of us, if we use discernment more, we would choose better.
Hmm.
And if we learn from the lessons, if we implemented the lessons that we learned based on the mistakes that we've made in the past, we would also choose better, continue to choose better, like continue
Yeah.
to elevate, you know what I'm saying, as we go through that process. I think that we have to stop being so shallow. Okay, this person may be, and I'm not saying if you're attracted, for instance, to somebody that is petite or just a little thick, and
Mhm,
that person is not, I say morbidly
mhm.
obese, but if they are a little bit heavier than what you like, that's something that can be changed. You know what I'm saying? They can lose weight. You know
Hey,
what I'm saying?
listen,
But
you might find
if they
yourself
meet
not caring about it.
exactly, but if they
Like your
meet
boy, hey,
everything
listen,
else,
my taste has changed over the years. I'm just
absolutely.
here to
And
let
a lot of
you
us
know.
are going to go up and down, but I'm just saying, I'm using it as an example. Like that can be changed.
Mhm.
Y'all work out together, but this person
Yeah,
meets all, they meet all
yeah.
all the other qualities that you're looking for in a husband or a wife. The same thing
Mhm.
for women. For women, okay, maybe he don't have a Ferrari or a car. First of all, girl, you riding a bus, so you lucky if he got anything. But anyway, if he don't have a Ferrari or making 100K a year, but he at 70K a year, and he's a great father, and he own his own house and all sort of kind of stuff, girl, you dumb if you don't jump on it. And he is your preference as far as what he looks like. We have to stop being so shallow and start looking at the person, because what happens is a lot of us, we get so caught up in the materialism and the surface stuff that we
You
forget
have no
that
idea
we
what
also
substance
have to right, that we also have to take inventory of who the person is, because okay, you get with them and now they're hitting you upside the head, or now this person is cheating on you, and now this person, what I'm saying? So you was concerned about all the wrong stuff,
is. Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, and that's why I think they get it right, because they are just truly looking for a good person to navigate through life with for the rest of their life. That that's willing, and I use the word willing because just imagine how difficult it is for two people to be on a spectrum, and
Mm-hmm.
they know they have certain hangups, but
Right.
they're willing to work through those to go through life together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that I just think it's so dope. I love the show. whoever came up with this idea, whoever came up with it, God bless them, because man, like this is a show that I think everybody should watch, because
Mhm.
there is no way you can watch a full episode and not find joy in it, unless you just Ebenezer Scrooge every day. I mean, or the devil. You
Yeah.
There's no way you can't find joy in watching this show. Like you find
Right.
yourself rooting for people, you find yourself liking certain couples together. What I'm saying? Like you find yourself invested in one episode. In an hour's time, I done got three new people. Like I got three favorite people. I'm like, okay, I like Connor, I like my boy Tyler. Like I'm like, yo, I got people that I rock with. I'm watching. Like I literally I feel like Connor should have his own show. Like
Mhm.
he's that animated. And it's honest though. You know what I'm saying? Like he's so honest. And I
Right.
love his family. Like I like how they interact with him. Um, I like how the families are invested in the girlfriends and the boyfriends and the people that they date. Like
Mhm.
it's just dope. You know what I'm saying? It's a dope show.
Yeah. Yeah. So, this is an interesting conversation. And for those who, want to go check out the show, I would suggest that you do go check out the show, because maybe you can get a few pointers. And when it comes to dating
Yeah.
and determining, how you should interact and what questions you should ask and how you should present yourself to someone, instead of, trying to be someone that you're not. And really, when you feel like you have to do that, you have to become someone that you're not just to get the attention of somebody else, then that person, one, is definitely not for you, because if they don't like you for you or love you for you, then they're not for you. And two, that says a lot about how you see yourself and how comfortable
Yo,
you are in your own identity. And so, and if you don't know who you are, then you definitely don't need to be dating until you meet you, until you know who you are, and until you can own who you are and walk boldly in that. And so, because nobody deserves to be with, I'll say, a representative, or a made up individual. Nobody deserves to be catfished in that way.
gate, yeah, out the gate you duping them because you are not
Yeah.
what it is that they're signing up for.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, we are down to the last minute and a half of the show. Make sure you all go subscribe now to egoentertainmentnet.com so that you stay up to date on opportunities, events, and all kind of stuff that's coming your way. Go register also, or subscribe for free to egotvnetwork.live. That's egotvnetwork.live. Of course, again, you all know our movie I Survived Suicide is on there. We have some other content on there, and new content is coming your way this Sunday. So y'all know we have been in production since February. So we are rolling out all of this stuff. You will get to take a look at Sassy, Sexy, Ambitious, Sophisticated Chat on Ego TV. That's an Ego original talk show. Also, Run and Tell That. That's a new talk show as well. Go check it out. Behind the Fame web series. That's on there now as well. So make sure that you all go subscribe. You go add Ego TV to your Roku channels, okay, so that you can watch on your television. If you want, you can watch on the website, as I say, egotvnetwork.live, or watch from your phone. And the actual mobile apps will be coming soon. All right.
Cool.
And also get your tickets, Beaufort, South Carolina, and Kansas City, Missouri. Get your tickets for the Don't Give Up tour. Go to egoentertainmentnet.com/events and choose whatever city you want to go to for the tour. Get your tickets now. All right. And you've been tuned in to Relationshipology with your girl, Lady J, and
your boy Keith Omar.
All right. And until next time, y'all, we will see y'all on the 4th
2 weeks from today.
Thursday. Yeah. 4th Thursday of this month. All right, for Relationshipology right here on JQLM Radio. See y'all later.
Peace.
The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because